Welcome back to Expresso, live on SABC3 on this magnificent Friday, TGIF. Thank goodness for insightful financiers. We have one of them in studio with us. Warren, good to have you with us again.
Thanks, Mike. Nice to be here.
Job creation, top of the ANC's Lekgotla at the moment, with the loss of 1 million jobs in 2010. I'm glad I'm not Ibrahim Patil, Economic Development Minister. He's got broad shoulders and a tough task ahead of him. But if you are fortunate enough to have a job or starting a new job, you're a matriculant, etc., then there are some employee benefits you need to know about, which is what we're talking about this morning.
Yeah.
Warren, overview. What kind of employee benefits are a must?
Thanks, Mike. Yeah, I think from an employee benefits perspective, the powerful thing about employee benefits that the employer brings to the table and that people should be looking for when they are looking at that prospective job is the fact that it will provide free life cover, disability benefits, and funeral cover, which the company would typically be paying for. So it's not something that will be coming out of your pocket. The other thing that employee benefits do very well is that it actually doubles up on your efforts to be able to retire one day. Because if you're putting 200 Rand on the table, your employer is typically putting 200 Rand on the table. So instead of you having to invest the 400 Rand, that is happening in an employee benefit arrangement.
Now, if you had to say, could you suggest how they where they position that pension fund, or is that up to the company to decide? What's the trend these days? Yeah,
the trend largely is for the employer to step back from that responsibility. So in years gone by, with largely being pension funds, the responsibility was on the employer together with the administrator to make sure that those funds are adequately administered so that they'll be able to pay you a retirement income. But with the advent of provident funds in the last 10 years, all of those employers have been shifting the goalposts, not the goalposts, but the responsibility back to the employee and saying, no, you take that responsibility. So it's absolutely important that if you do have employee benefits with provident fund or funds for retirement, that you get independent advice apart from the administrator to make sure that those funds are adequately aligned with your risk profile. Sure. So if you're young, you've just come out of varsity and you're a professional, then it needs to be aggressively positioned. And again, aggressively is not reckless investing. It's making sure that you've got more than 10 years before your retirement to harness the benefits in your investment strategy.
Sure. But the important is that you retain the autonomy, so you are in charge. Yes. You're not just leaving that to someone else, which is never a great idea.
Correct.
You know, in the States, they always talk about, have you got dental? We don't have that in this country, do we? I mean, does dental fall under medical aid? What does dental fall under?
Yeah, your dental will typically be a medical aid. So a medical aid in terms of a company employee benefits is also another benefit that can be added to a standard employee benefits fund, right. But it'll be for part more of your medical aid.
So we're a country full of entrepreneurs as well, who don't fall under a corporate structure. What about their retirement planning? Give us some advice.
Yes. Well, if you look at your asset allocation for an entrepreneur, the sources of his income is very erratic. He maybe have major contracts which may run out in 6 months or 9 months' time. So where he puts his money needs to be a lot more conservatively placed. So the likes of fixed interest or balanced portfolio should rather suit an entrepreneur, where somebody with an appropriate job with good benefits should go a little bit more aggressive with their investment strategy. The other thing that is quite nice about employee benefits that some employers have been asking us about is with the advent of the effects of HIV and AIDS. A lot of employers are saying, look, there's going to be a lot of our employees who are not going to be around in 20 years' time to reap the benefits of their retirement plan. So we want effective education benefits for their children. Brilliant. Which is quite a big ask out there at the moment. Yeah. So that's also important to consider, is what education benefits are part of your employee benefits to make sure that your children, if you don't survive the next 20, 30 years because of life expectancy, then your children can at least have education from primary school right through to tertiary.
Brilliant. Warren, thank you so much. Always great to hear your insights.
It's a pleasure.
And I hope you take note of them. Very vital information. Right now we're going to a movie review with the King's Speech. Should be fascinating.